Favorite Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 song? Mine is Creep and Dog Days Are Over. What's your favorite song from that soundtrack?
I mean, obviously, Creep is a Radiohead classic. I don't know that I'm as fond of the acoustic version. It fits the movie and the scene, but I don't know that that's the version that I've ever gone to historically in the past. So I don't know if I would go with that one as a Guardians of the Galaxy song. I loved the inclusion of Space Hogs in the meantime in the trailer. So that's the one where my brain naturally gravitates towards. I've added that into my playlists and everything since that trailer dropped, and it's stuck with me since then. Real nice use of Beastie Boys.
Oh yeah, that's up there for me. Because that song was on Guitar Hero back in the day. I played that growing up, and I was like, that was like my introduction to it, and I was like, this song's awesome. So that was like the first Beastie Boys song I probably ever heard. Perfect, with the scene that it accompanies. Dog Days Are Over is up there for me. Just, again, that's one of my favorite uses of music in the MCU. But in terms of like song, because I've been listening to this soundtrack, a bunch of these are pretty much all new to me. Since You've Been Gone, the one they used in, I think, the second trailer? That one rocks. Great soundtrack. I think I actually prefer it to the first two, which is apparently a hot take online. They're all great. They're all pretty even to me.
Yeah, well, there's a lot of people that staking one conversation I've had. I said a lot of people. It's one conversation I've had. But they said it feels different, which it's supposed to because it's from the Zune that has the 90s and the zeros.
Yep,
whereas the first ones were from mixtapes from his mother, which is like early 80s and 70s. And so it feels different, but for that same reason, then it can appeal to a whole other audience of people. But I think like James Gunn actually really knows music, and it has that true mixtape aesthetic of the past, of thinking through songs, and people have rules for their playlists. And I feel like Taika Waititi tried to do that, but he doesn't have the same vast knowledge of music, and so it's like Led Zeppelin, right, the most popular hard rock band of the 70s. And then Guns N' Roses, right, the most overplayed 80s hard rock band. Like, these are the most obvious choices rather than, like, feeling like a deep knowledge and picking the perfect songs. And that's like James Gunn, they feel like great playlists.
Absolutely. And there are three playlists, 3 for 3 on the soundtracks that I like have discovered a lot of new music that I would not have listened to normally because of James Gunn. So he definitely knows what he's doing. And it's cool, like, to learn all these songs. Like the one you mentioned, In the Meantime, I had never, for whatever reason, I hadn't heard that song. And my friend, he's a moderator here, Starco Cooper, was like going crazy texting me. And I think I also went on Twitter and I saw you were pretty hyped. That song was used as well.
On the flip side of that, my wife hates Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2. Never wants to watch it ever again. Her favorite song is Brandy, Ego's favorite song. And one more reason that she resents the film. Ego would claim her favorite song. But once again, a classic example of James Gunn pulling a song out that like I didn't think anything of it, but for my wife it's really special, and he found it. Plucked it, put it in his movie.
Yeah, that's a song I heard a lot growing up. My parents both love that one.
Great. And my parents were my dad was a big Beatles person, so having George Harrison's "My Sweet Lord" when they pull it into Ego's Planet, or I guess Ego Him, phrase that. That to me was like, hey, George Harrison.
The Guardians 2 soundtrack's almost my favorite. It's really, really hard. I made that video, that short, the other day, and I was like, this is tough, and one was at the bottom for me, but it's like, that's not a bad soundtrack by any means. It's just how much do I not rewatch, but re-listen to the songs, and one had the least that I listened to the most. So it is what it is. It falls that way.